Good morning, everybody. My name's Evan, and I am one of the owners of G.O.A.T Pickleball. The other owner is my beautiful wife, who you will see from time to time in the stores, and sometimes I get her to get on the videos. I try to get her on here more because she's way better looking than I am, but I want to give you a little rundown about the how, why G.O.A.T Pickleball started, and kind of just introduce you to me, who I am, what I've done in my lifetime, and kind of our vision for G.O.A.T Pickleball from when we started to where it's at now and like where we plan to be. All right. So my name's Evan Christopher Stanko. All right. I'm 43 years old. I grew up a military child. My dad was in the Army for 20 years, and I spent most of my childhood in Germany. Grew up in Germany, went to an American school there, was a decent athlete, not so much in pickleball, but went on to play college football at Averett University in Danville, Virginia. It's a D3 football school. Played there for a little bit. Didn't necessarily enjoy college football, so I went back overseas and I played semi-pro ball over there for 3 different teams in Germany over 3 different years. Had a blast, loved it. So that's really my sports background, is all in football. I did play baseball as a kid, and I was an all-star. But my dad told me when I was really young that I'm not Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders, so I needed to pick one sport and just be really good at that. So I picked football, and I ran with it, and I love football. I played it till I couldn't play it anymore, and I ran that out as far as I could. All right, then I joined the Army. I was a 95 Charlie or a 31 Echo internment resettlement specialist, which all that means is I worked in the prisons. I did a lot of cool assignments while I was in the Army, and I spent 14 long years in the Army. But eventually I ended up breaking my back and finding my way out of the Army. All right. So that puts me in about 2016. I get out of the Army and I get a sales role at a company as a freight and logistics brokerage. And I did really, really well there. I landed some massive, massive companies, and I had a ton of fun at this company. I'm not going to name the company, but it was a great company to work for. And then I met my wife, Alessandra, and started trying to figure out like what my next move in life was going to be, because I really loved sales and was really good at sales, but I knew that the company I was working for was paying me way too much for doing what I was doing. So I had to find a way out and start my exit strategy. All right. So Alessandra comes into my life, and I meet her mom, and her mom had been playing pickleball for about 8 years at the time, and she kept trying to get us to go out there and play. And I was very resistant. All I ever saw was old people out there, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot one day. And I went down to Durango Hills Pickleball Club and played pickleball. And I ran into this guy. At the time, he was 81. I want to say he's probably 84 now. Might even be 85. His name is Bud. He's about 6'4" and doesn't move very much, but he whipped my butt. He really whipped my butt. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take this serious and start playing a lot, because 1, it was fun, and 2, I don't want to get beat by 80-year-olds. At the time, I was 39, 40 years old, I don't know. But he put it on me, and I was like, all right, I can't have that happen. My ego and everything was bruised, so I started playing pickleball like 4 to 8 hours every single day. I would play in the morning at Durango Hills, and then I would go to Lifetime and play. And I was shopping at another store located in Vegas, and every time I would go in there, I'd be highly disappointed at the customer service and lack of knowledge, just general knowledge of pickleball equipment. They had none. Like, I would go in there and just want like honest feedback about paddles. They couldn't tell me anything about the paddles. So fast forward to Durango Hills again. I'm sitting there on the bleachers with my boy D and Maxie, and we're hanging out, and I was like, guys, I'm gonna open a pickleball store. And they just laughed at me. Not really like laugh out loud, but just like snickered, like, yeah, right. Oh, no, you're not. All right. So I was like, I am, and I'm gonna do it soon, because I know that my job is gonna, they're affecting my pay. They're squeezing my pay because they're paying me too much, but I'm making a ton of money for them, so I feel that my worth is there. But at the end of the day, every job's gonna squeeze you out, right? Unless you own it. So I started putting in the work. Like, I formed the LLC, I did all that stuff. I started reaching out to paddle companies and forming relationships and making sure I was going to be able to set up accounts. And then fast forward about 8 months later, and boom, G.O.A.T Pickleball is ready to go. October 2023, we have set up our grand opening date, and we're going to open. And we do. We get all the paddle companies on board. We had Selker, G.O.A.T, Diadem, Thrive, which we were their first wholesale account. Honolulu Pickleball, I believe we were their first wholesale account. Proton, we're definitely their first wholesale account. You name the company, I reached out. If they were big at the time, I reached out to them, and I formed relationships with the owners, with the salesmen, with everybody that I could talk to. I wanted to make sure they knew I was serious, and then we were going to go at this full head of steam and do our best, all right? G.O.A.T Pickleball opened on Lake Mead in Buffalo, October 22nd, 2023, and I would say it was a huge success, right? From day one, we weren't rolling in the dough, but we had customers coming through the door, and that's all we were looking for. Could we get customers in the door and shop with us? And I feel like I did my best to learn every paddle out there, play with every paddle, and be knowledgeable and be able to provide customers that came through the door a experience that they could not get anywhere else in Vegas. And I believe that we still do that to this day with all of our employees, including Charlie, Mark, Griffin, and my wife. We know pickleball. We all play every day, except for Allie. She plays like twice a week. But we all play every day. We're out there in the community. We're donating paddles to the middle schools. We're donating paddles to veterans. We're doing everything we can to help grow the sport of pickleball. Not to mention, we sponsor about 40 kids across the country with our grips and water bottles, and we send them towels, we send them shirts, all the little cool pickleball stuff that I can think of in my little head. I try to make it, like the pins, the rubber bands, what else? The grips. We have our own ball now, which is a phenomenal ball. If you haven't tried it, you should. They're 3 for $9, or if you catch me on the court, I'll sell them to you for $2 a ball. Yeah, so let's go to like the beginning of 2025, and I'm like, yep, I mean, we're doing really well on Lake Mead in Buffalo. Let's start looking for another location. Boom, a location lands in our lap on Rainbow and Badura, right? It's Rainbow and 215. It's right behind Dave's Hot Chicken, high foot traffic. I don't have anybody to run it though, so I obviously can't be in two places at once, and I'm spending most of my time at Lake Mead in Buffalo, so I had to find somebody. And my buddy from high school, Charlie, happened to be kind of in the market, all right? So we talk about it, and boom, he's running G.O.A.T Pickleball. We call it G.O.A.T 2. That's really just the internal thing, but it's the G.O.A.T Pickleball that's on Rainbow and Badura, Rainbow and 215, right behind Dave's Hot Chicken. And now, thanks to you guys, that location is also thriving. So I think in our future, we do see ourselves opening another store, but I don't know if it's going to be in Vegas. I don't know if Vegas needs another store. We think maybe somewhere in Arizona or somewhere in Utah, right? Got to figure out the logistics, find a location, and do all that stuff. But we'll cross that path when we need to. Right now, because of you guys, both stores are doing really, really well. We're doing well. G.O.A.T Pickleball is thriving. You guys keep us very busy. I do my best to stay on top of the market and find all the cool new paddles that are coming out. Make sure we have them in the store for you. I pull strings with companies like Bread and Butter to try to get them to send us as many paddles as we can, even when they don't want to. I can be very convincing. So yeah, I'm doing what I can to help you guys get the paddles in the hands that you want. And then I'm also trying to do what I can to grow the sport of pickleball. And I believe that's through the kids, and that's why we sponsor 99% of kids. We have a couple guys that are 18 or 19 years old, but that's about as high as we go when we look to sponsor kids. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me. You got like a little bit of history. You got a history of G.O.A.T Pickleball and the future of G.O.A.T Pickleball. Maybe a third store soon, and then maybe get to like 7 or 8 stores, and I think that's enough. But we'll be in different states, different cities, trying to give everybody the same experience that they get here in Vegas in those stores as well. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, ideas, anything, feel free to reach out. Let us know. We're human. We're learning too as we go. We're not perfect. We try to be, but we're not. So if there's anything you think that we can do better as a company, we want to hear it, and we'll consider it. We'll see what we can do to get better. And appreciate you watching this video. I know it's a long one, but if you made it to the end, I appreciate it. And you guys will be hearing a lot from me soon. I plan on doing much more content through 2026 and seeing what I can do to build like a little following. And I don't want to influence you guys, but I want to educate you guys, all right? So thank you. Again, my name is Evan, one of the owners of G.O.A.T Pickleball. You'll see my wife on a video really soon if you haven't already. Have a good day.